Well, we're at the end of another trading day today. Markets, corn and soybeans both started off in the red. Looks like they finished today. We're joined right now by Cory Bratland of agmarket.net. Cory, definitely a different situation from yesterday. What did we see in the markets today?
Hey, Dustin. Yeah, the market definitely is a typical turnaround Tuesday. What it kind of seems like to me, we had crop progress here yesterday afternoon. Still showed that, yeah, we've got some wet areas out there in the U.S., some dry areas, but overall, we're still making some pretty good progress. We've got both corn and soybeans well ahead of the 5-year average, and looks like for the most part, we're going to get off to a pretty good start this week. Now, so corn took a little bit of a pullback. Now, yesterday, corn kind of got going with a great export inspections with the second highest of the marketing year. So we continue to see that very strong demand for corn. And that's leading to a lot of traders thinking that in these upcoming reports, and possibly this one here we got coming in May 12th, our crop production report, we could see USDA actually increase their projection for exports and increase that from 3.3 billion up to maybe 50 to upwards of maybe 100 million bushels. So that's something I think we could see. Now, soybeans, they caught fire yesterday with the soybean oil going up, making new contract highs. But then now here today, a little bit of a pullback. Crude oil was lower, and then overall the soybeans just being ahead of the 5-year average by 10 percentage points on the planning. Just I think the market's starting to realize that, hey, we're going to get this crop in and under pretty good conditions.
Well, I know in Iowa we've been waiting for a while for it to dry out, which I know in parts of Illinois they've been, waiting for it to stop being so dry. But talking with the folks around the Midwest, I mean, it's this week seems like it's been the go for it.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're into the month of May, so now the clock is starting to tick against us a little bit. So, well, like I say, this week for the most part, the western part of the Corn Belt should have a very good week. The Dakotas, Minnesota, a good chunk of Iowa is going to dry out. Look like this week. We're still going to have some issues across Illinois. The deep south, the Delta, they're got their crop in and under really good conditions. And then I say the far eastern Corn Belt could be a little bit on the wet side, but overall, I think we'll be right on schedule, if not a little bit ahead of this 5-year average.
Now, I know the trade is spending a lot of time watching what's going to happen in 10 days if President Trump goes to China to have trade negotiations, but obviously a lot of global turmoil that could play a factor in how these negotiations play as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the whole Iran conflict going on, that's going to be a kind of a hot button, I think. So, but President Trump made a comment, I think yesterday, that he says they're looking forward to meeting with President Xi. It's going to be a very good meeting. He kind of thought, I think, the trade reps have been visiting here late last week here, and they kind of sound like a little optimistic that we could see maybe a bigger ag products package that they're kind of float out to China to buy. So instead of just focusing on soybeans, we may be looking at buying soybeans, corn, wheat, possibly ethanol. A little bit of a bigger portfolio per se of our egg products. So I think I think traders are looking forward to that and kind of seeing what we can kind of glean from that meeting.
Of course, on the livestock side of things, also a turnaround Tuesday. They took it on the chin yesterday, but looking a lot more supported both in cattle and hogs today.
Yeah, a little overreaction. Anytime you got the funds this heavily long in the cattle market like they are, yesterday we got the Department of Justice is sound like they're going to do a deep dive and really kind of look into price fixing measures here, possibly with the big four meat packers. So that kind of spooked the market here a little bit. But overall, I mean, we're going into grilling season here. Demand should be pretty strong, and we're still we still got very tight numbers here on the cattle side of things. So we're seeing that market rebound here pretty good with cattle up, live cattle up here a couple bucks, and feeder cattle up, $5 plus here on the day.
All right. Well, Cory, if folks want to start having conversations about some of their marketing plans, maybe look to shore up some of the last minute details on the 26 growing season plans. What's the best way for them to get that conversation started?
Yeah, just head on over to our website, which is agmarket.net, and you can get a hold of us there.
All right, Cory Bratland's with us here today from agmarket.net. Thanks for the insight. We'll talk to you again real soon.
You bet. Thanks, Dustin.